Look at who I found, Del Sim. Del, thank you for joining.
Dale?
Del, you came down from New York. We're in Philadelphia. You're on the one-loss side.
One loss side, yeah.
Nice room, right?
This place is huge. What is it, like 20,000?
21,000 square feet. 52 tables.
Yeah.
And they put all that new digital pool scoring in, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
Looks nice. What's the feel like different Philadelphia versus New York? How is the vibe different? More laid back here, less laid,
I think you hit on a good point because this room, for the size of it, is so much more laid back. You don't get a room as big as this in New York. You know, the vibe is much more enclosed. There's much more like, hold on, let me pay my tab. Here it is.
Del Sim, famous, very famous. Del Sim.
I can't believe they're making me pay for a round while I'm doing it.
Yeah, while doing the interview.
Can I have my beer now? Thanks.
This is what happens when you do the interviews at the bar. But that's where you find the famous people.
But you are right. The vibe here is definitely a lot more laid back. I love the people. They're very into their pool. You can tell a lot of people that kind of watch a lot online. They're all watching the game on the rail here.
Yeah.
And I think what Frank Maillet and Mindy have done, the PA Ball has been huge.
Yeah.
They're attracting a really big crowd now. They're attracting people from all over to come visit a room like this. And it's good to see the room giving them support to do a big match-free WNT kind of event.
Yeah.
And I think this is only going to grow over time.
Yeah. The one thing that so this is where I'm from. My page now is called Level 2 Billiards, but about a half an hour from here is where Level 2 Billiards, my pool room, was.
Oh, right, okay.
So, I'm a Philly guy. I'm a Philly born, right? So having this locally is great. And we never really had a lot of pro events. King of Prussia, Super Billiards Expo.
Yeah, the Expo.
And they call it Philly, but it's King of Prussia. It's not. We're in the city now. So it's nice to have this. Having it as a WNT event is super. Love it. Hopefully, what I would like to see, and I was talking to my friend about this yesterday, this turning into a regular event, which then increasing the crowd for U.S. Open, getting more people into the pros. I was talking to somebody on a rail today, and he said, "Oh, I only know him," and he was pointing at Skylar. He said, "I saw this." He wasn't talking bad about him. He said, "I watched the pro yesterday. I don't know his name. Filipino guy. He plays really good." I said, "Rollin." He goes, "Oh yeah, Rollin."
Rollin, yeah.
If you don't follow the pros on a regular basis, it's easy to be out of touch, right? Because we're not getting coverage on ESPN. We're not getting that kind of stuff. And here, to expose it, it's only good for the game. It's only good for the game. And what I've seen, and I think you'll agree, the tournament is running smoothly. It's not behind. A lot of
50
referees.
plus tables here. It's insane. They have so many tables.
Yeah.
They could easily do a 2-day event, like before the US Open or before Atlantic City or something like that. It'd be amazing.
Buffer tables too. Some of they got some buffer tables in the back, so not everybody's jammed up. Referees running around. There's so many referees here.
They're great. They're racking every game.
Yeah, racking every game. Yep.
So you're not getting any arguments. You can't. You also can't question the ref as well, which I think is great for the speed.
Yeah.
Each match is taken on average about 90 minutes, which is what it should for a race to 9. Some of them are going a little bit longer, but anyone going over 2 hours should be on a time clock straight away. Yeah.
I've also noticed that they're being, the referees I've watched, but they're being very meticulous about racking. They're not going fast, or nobody's pressuring them. The players are waiting, and that's good. You want to see that, right?
It's good for hit calls as well because they're nice and close. So they're all doing 4 tables each.
Right.
So they've only got 4 tables to look after. So they're moving between them very, very well.
Yeah. Bleachers, they put bleachers in. There's a VIP section for the TV table. TV table, nobody's squished in together. Tons of stuff going on. All right, let's switch gears a second.
Okay.
You're a Caden player.
Yes.
Caden is blowing up. Everybody's talking about Caden tips. Why all of a sudden everybody? It's not a new tip, is it?
It is.
It's new.
It's new.
And why so many people love talking about this Caden tip? Tell us about the Caden tip.
So the founder and owner is based in Taiwan, but he's producing the tips in Japan, which everyone knows is the place to get,
Leather.
quality Japanese pigskin leather.
Yeah.
That's being treated in the right way. Now, the reason I joined with these guys, obviously, I'm affiliated via Tsunami as well. So Richie Su is his attention to detail and his OCD for absolute quality is one thing that's really made me and him like a great partnership in New York, Brooklyn. And over 5 years now, I've been associated with Tsunami, and you've seen the rise of that particular shaft as a keelwood.
And he's a good guy. I met him once.
Fantastic guy.
Great guy, super cool, always positive.
Always positive.
Yeah, I like
He runs it out of his back garden. He has his workshop in his back garden, and he's been making cues for over 25 years now. But he found a niche with the keelwood when it first came out, and now you see keelwoods blowing up all over. People are trying to replicate his success. Right. But sometimes, or in this occasion, the original is always the best. So I find that his progression has been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed testing the products. The difference with Talkin is, the Talkin with the Tsunami seems to be the perfect blend. And I think people are noticing this. So what Talkin have done now, they've come up with a super soft, a soft, medium, and a hard. I personally use the hard tip because it gives you everything. The consistency, the low deflection. A lot of players with a carbon tip will play with a medium or a hard because it assists the properties of like low deflection. Once you start going to soft and super soft, you start to lose some of that because the energy transfer is not there and it will squirt. So a lot of people don't realize that the tip will cause more squirt than the shaft. So I've found, with a lot of installers that are installing it, the Talkin cuts continuously. So when you cut into a tip, you'll see it all like a lot of the debris will come off the tip. The Talkin cuts in one continuous circle. So that just shows you the quality of the premium tip that they have. And what I've found is the medium for me is it's playing a hardness up. So if you're used to a soft, I would get a medium. If you like a medium, I would get a hard. Because you're not losing any of the spin ability. So, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't get draw with a hard tip. I've posted numerous videos on my social media at the Highlander page that just debunks that. And that's why I've become so accustomed to the Talkin over the last year, that their promise on quality, if you get a bad tip, and here's the thing I'm trying to debunk as well, you can't have a perfect tip production all the time. What I love about Timothy with Talkin out in Taiwan is he quality tests every tip. And if I told you he's got like 1,000 tips that he won't let leave the factory because they're not perfect, that's the sign of someone that just wants to do
you want to hear
great
that.
business.
You want to hear that. You want to hear that.
And I don't want to talk bad on other tips, but they'll be like, oh, we're just going to send them out, and if they're bad tips, they're bad tips. What I love about Talkin is they'll replace a bad tip for free. Just message them and say, hey, I've got a bad tip. Everyone knows that it's that 10% factor. There's always going to be 10% in any mass production thing that's going to be bad. And what I love about their customer service is they're willing to change it. They're like, hey, no arguments here. We'll send you another one out. Let me know. And that quality assurance, along with the customer service, along with the playability, it's taken I don't take the game as seriously as I should. I'm a bit of a floozy. You call it floozy, right? You understand floozy?
Floozy means whore.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a whore for like...
Del Sim is a whore. Del Sim is a whore.
That's exactly what I meant. But this brand with Tsunami Talkin, I'm so loyal to it over the last 5 to... I found consistency in my game I didn't know I had. So I'm starting to win more. I'm starting to, be more consistent. And I'm like, I used to change my tip like the wind. Like, oh, this one's terrible.
Yeah.
I've been so consistent with this, and it's so nice to find a balance that works for you. Now everyone's personal, right? Everyone has a personal choice. I get it. But when you find it, and I invested a lot of my own money finding the right blend. Even when, and this is what I mean about, yes, I'm sponsored. I have multiple sponsors, but how I got involved with them was buying their equipment first. I bought it with my own money and said, let me see what works for me. And then when I loved it, that's how I met Richie. I went to his house. I was like, this is amazing. How do I get more involved?
Right.
DQ, how do I get more involved? Talkin, please let me be an ambassador because I want to rep this product till it's dead, And I found myself being that over time, and that's what's kind of kept me in the industry. I don't need the back end, honestly. And that's not arrogant or anything. It's just that's a fact. It's just I want to be an ambassador and show other people that you can get all of that in one certain aspect.
And that's the kind of, I think, for the most part, that's what companies are looking for, right? Is that, because it's true, right? Let's switch gears for a minute. I know we got to run here because you gotta play soon. And
Yeah, it's got my message.
all right, just one thing. Let's just point out, where can people see your videos? I love Del's videos. If you haven't seen them, tell the people at home where they can check your videos out.
Appreciate the plug. So under the Billiard Sports Network, I have my own video podcast called Talkin English. We focus on the industry away from the spotlight of the pro player. And what I'm looking to do is highlight guys like Jay, guys like, table mechanics, chip installers, people who put the hard work into the industry to make it great for all of us. The room owners like Bluegrass, Amsterdam Billiards, New York Q Club, Society Billiards. There's so many great people out there that are giving back to the sport that we love that I want to highlight personally. So Talkin English or Billiard Sports Network on YouTube. Go check them out. Give them a like or follow. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. Good luck on your next match.